shut that off now. So
but Karen, fun fact, you asked me about accessibility, and I have a program set up to auto-generate some captions on videos. I'm married, so of course auto-generated captions are never 100%, but it's a start. So we're getting closer. So tell me how you are today. How are you doing? How are you feeling? That sounds great, Mary. It'll be posted. Enjoy dinner with the family. Hi, Karen. Hi, Jamie. It's good to see you virtually. Had a lively day on this end. I was boiling water, and the pot I used was, I don't know, it's not, what is the material of that?
Just stone type of
ceramic.
ceramic.
A stone ceramic pot and boiling water. Hi, Mom. And the whole vessel just made this really loud pop sound. And then water started flooding all over everything, and I burned my finger pretty good, and of course it just scared me. It was so loud, but other than that, getting used to working at home here, and yeah, it's definitely a change, a big shift. My sister's recommendation to people is to not stay in your PJs. Minimally have, I think she said, your work sweatpants and your fun sweatpants, just to keep some distinctions. Hi, Audrey. It's good to have you. Hi, Mom. Oh, ready for this after a day trying to work from home. Yes, we're all talking about the working from home experience. It's a little bit different. I delayed some of my work from home today due to burning my middle finger here from the hot water. But all is well. Joel bandaged me up, and here we are, yoga time. Yay! I wonder if there are any requests today, things you're looking for. This is a question I often ask in my live classes, or I should say my in-person classes. This is a live class. And I would like to be able to still honor that if you have any requests. I can certainly customize our experience here on the fly. My intention today is to build a little bit from last week, so if you happen to be in that class, great. And if not, I'm going to teach you the whole flow as we go. There'll just be a couple additions to play with today. If you have an area of your body that could use a little extra support and want to type it in, or just something on your mind, something you're wanting to invite in, please feel free to share it in the comments. Hi again, Mom. We saw your other comment. Wait another moment or two. Low back support, absolutely, yes. We will do some low back support today. So that'll start right off the bat. We'll make sure to be engaging muscles to support the low back. And then do some kind of comfy, cozy release work. Release is the idea behind that. Yeah, so low back. Alright. How about we get started then? I'm going to make my way back to my mat. And if you want to start sitting on a blanket, I wish I could see these comments. Shoulders, Karen, you betcha. Shoulders, low back. Absolutely. I wish I could see the comments as they're coming in, but it doesn't let me. Alright, without going up and scrolling through. So, blankets underneath of your sitting bones, those bones at the bottom of the pelvis. If you have a blanket, you can sit flat on the floor or your mat as well. And think about sitting on the sits bones versus kind of tucking the tailbone under and rounding back. So we're just upright here. And if you can, getting your knees just a little bit lower than the hips. That's why the blanket can be really helpful here if you roll it up. If you don't have a blanket, an awesome trick is to take the back of your mat and roll it up and then put it back down, and you can sit right on that and it will give you a little boost up. So just a little tip if you're looking for that. And you can sit crisscross or have your legs stretched out in front of you with bent knees, bottoms of the feet together, knees out. Any kind of position that feels like a good spot for you today in this moment. And then here, letting the top of your head reach up toward the ceiling. And letting your chin be level to the earth. And just let your hands drop down onto your lap. You can be palms up or down, either way. You can keep your eyes open or gently close the eyes. It's entirely up to you. And just notice your breath here. Inhales and exhales. Notice your thoughts, what you're thinking about, maybe what mood you're in this moment. Just kind of noticing and seeing what is there. A natural flow. The in and out. And know that whatever is there is okay and is a part of your experience in this moment. You are where you need to be. Right here, right now. Your breath, the space you've made to be on your mat. And you might have an intention for being here today. Maybe it's something physical like supporting your low back or your shoulders. Maybe it's something to support you mentally and emotionally during this time. Whatever is on your heart, just being aware of that in this moment, setting an intention to support yourself. And let's bring both hands to the low stomach in this moment and practice some abdominal breathing here. So for this breathing, if you can, in and out through your nose and expanding the low stomach into the hands as you inhale, and then gently compressing it inward as you exhale. So inhales expanding like a balloon filling up. Exhales gently squeezing out all the air. And this may not feel like your most natural way of breathing. That's okay. See what's there for you. It might be very effortful, also okay. We're practicing engaging these muscles in our diaphragmatic muscle, our breathing muscle. You don't have to sustain or hold the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe letting it grow a little softer, a little smoother, a little bit longer than the natural rhythm. Your interpretation. What does softer and smoother and a little bit longer mean for you in this moment? If you want, you can let the hands float back down to the lap, but continue to connect to that abdominal belly breathing. Of the fingers onto the shoulders. You can do both at once, or you can do one and then the other. Just depends on how you're feeling in this moment. So if you do both, begin to gently circle the elbows. If you do one, you're just circling one at a time, and then eventually you'll switch to the other side. Maybe starting out with some smaller circles. You can let them grow a little bit bigger. The elbows can come forward a little bit more. They can reach back, squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. And see if you can find a spot where you get fluid movement. So if you're feeling crunch, 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 can you soften that a little bit? Maybe make a smaller circle. Or maybe contract the muscles, like you're making really big bicep curl muscles here. And you feel that contraction, like you're hugging the muscle to the bone as you circle. Does that change anything for you? And notice your breathing here. Connect again to those deep abdominal breaths. Breathing in, filling up. Exhaling, gently pouring out. And at some point, reverse directions of these circles. Switch arms. And we'll slowly meet back at the center, letting the shoulders drop down, letting the hands come down onto the lap. And just take a minute to notice any feelings and sensations, maybe from the shoulders, across the chest. How does the breath feel? Breathing softer, smoother, and a little bit longer. We'll make our way now to tabletop, hands and knees. If you want a little extra cushioning under the knees or wrists, you can spread a blanket out. And for this, bringing the knees about under the hips. And the wrists can be in line with the shoulders, but they don't need to be right under the shoulders. You can take them a little bit wider, or they can be under the shoulders. So it's just adjusting and finding what feels supportive for you in this moment. And spreading out the fingers. And letting the top of your head reach forward. Now in this position, notice your breath. Inhales. And exhales. Can you let the breath expand as you inhale? And then the stomach sinks, squeezing inward, contracting as you exhale. And then on your next inhale, let the belly reach down, lift your tail and lift your head and heart and root down through the palms and fingertips. Exhale, reversing this. Lift the spine toward the sky, tuck your tail, tuck your head. And then back and forth when you inhale, lifting the heart, the head up, root down through fingers, lift the tail, exhale, curling under, spine toward the sky. Cats and cows, flow with your breath now, let it guide your movement. You may notice lots of movement for the spine, or it might feel a little sticky, and maybe there's another sensation. What is there for you? And as you're moving back and forth between your cats and cows, visualize lots of movement in the spine, and then you can add additional movement. You can bend the elbows and sink forward. You can sway side to side, adding little C bends. You can hold a pose. You can think of letting the head be the last thing to lift up and the last part to curl under. Might bring some different sensations, a different experience. Breathing in, finding your lift. Exhaling, sinking in. Now, finding your neutral spine. Walk your hands forward just ahead of your shoulders. And begin to circle your hips round and round here. And again, these can be any size circles you choose. They can be small at the top, or you can sink way forward and toward your heels, almost into a child's pose. Your breath can coordinate here. You can inhale forward and exhale back. Just keep breathing. Breathing in. Breathing out. Circle one way, reverse circle the other way. Coming back to center slowly, bring the hands back in line with the shoulders. We're going to add to our cats and cows now. So, as you inhale, letting belly sink down, tail, head, heart lift up. As you exhale, round the spine up to the sky, tuck tail, tuck head, and then slowly sink the hips toward the heels. As you inhale, you'll rise up, spine to the sky, and then switch. Slowly lower the stomach down, lift the head, lift the tail. So just adding a little more movement, sinking back to a hero's or a child's pose, depending on what you want to call it. Inhales up and finding that cow pose. Another option here, tuck the toes under and then sinking back, getting a little bit of a toe stretch here. Inhales rising up. Maybe take one more cat back toward your heels. We'll meet in tabletop once again. Extend the right leg long and press the toes and ball of the right foot into the mat, straightening the leg. And then press through that heel and then shift forward up onto the tiptoes. Press through the heel, then up on the tiptoes, just back and forth a couple of times. Notice your breath. Come back to that expansive breath, softer and smoother. And the next time you tip forward, bend the knee and bring it up between the hands. So for this, take a big step forward, then use your right hand to assist the leg up between the hands. Good. You can rise up on your fingertips here. And think of squaring that left hip toward the front of the mat. And from here, bring one hand onto the right thigh and then the other, lifting your head and heart. Hips stay square toward the front of the room. Extra bit of low back support here. Think of maintaining a 90-degree bend in the knee and then a tiny little tuck of the tail. So instead of having the back arched and the ribs forward, or just slightly tucking, just engaging. So you might think of it like your ribs knitting towards your hip bones. Someone once described this to me like as if Jackie Chan were going to give you a little punch to the gut here. I think that was Amanda Bobos that shared that one with me. Any of you that know Amanda, another local yoga teacher. So we're still breathing. And then maybe reach your arms up toward the sky. Now we're playing a little bit with balance here. Keep breathing. As you exhale, bring your arms to cactuses, the elbows straight out from the shoulders. Inhales, reach up. Exhales, cactus. Inhales up. This time as you exhale, take the left arm forward and the right arm back. So twist toward that right knee. Inhale, come back to center, reaching the arms up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, twisting the opposite way. Inhale, back to center. Don't worry if you twist it a different way than me, it's alright. Exhale into cactus. Inhale up. Now turn the palms forward. And as you exhale, slowly lower your torso toward the leg and sweep your arms, maybe your fingertips graze the mat, and then press them up. Palms face the sky. Inhale, fingers will graze and lift all the way back up. Good, let's do that again. Palms forward, fold and graze the mat. Inhale, rise back up. Now this time optional, as you fold, start to straighten that front leg. It doesn't need to straighten fully. As you lower the arms and press the palms back. Inhale, reversing this, bend that front knee, reach the hands up. Exhale, fold, straightening the right leg, hands toward the back. Inhale, so we rise. One more, folding. Finding a lift. Exhale, bend the elbows, find that cactus. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, float your hands down to the mat and slowly step that right leg back and notice the sensations in it. Enjoy the release. Maybe take some hip circles here if it would feel good. One way and then the other. As you're breathing, you notice your heart beating. How's the balancing feeling? Is it wobbly? Is it stable? Just kind of noticing. You don't have to judge any of it. See what comes up for you. Let's find center again. The hands are in line with the shoulders. Excuse me. And this time step that left foot back. Reach through the heel. Then onto the tippy toes. Reach through the heel. Tippy toes. Do one more. Where do you feel this stretch? Maybe up the calf. Then a step forward, controlled and slow, and then the left hand can support. You can bring it the rest of the way forward. Again, for the purpose of what we're doing today, bringing the knee directly over the ankle. The right hip this time is squarish to the front of the mat, so we're not twisting and turning. And slowly bringing the hands up onto that left thigh. And pausing here, kind of acclimating to be here. You might bounce a little bit forward and back, just kind of noticing. And again, just like before, we can really focus on a tiny little tuck of the pelvis here. Sending the ribs toward the hip bones here, really supporting that low back. And then we can reach one arm up, both arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhales, reach. Exhale, bending the elbows 90 degrees. Inhales, reach. One more. Reaching up. This time we'll twist the right arm forward, left arm back, go really slow. And notice if your left knee wants to tip open to the left, hug it towards your midline, reach through your fingers here. As you inhale, you'll come back to center, and then turn the opposite way. So if you're with me, the left arm forward, the right arm back. When you're ready, and inhale back to center. Take another cactus with an exhale. Reaching up, turn the palms forward. We're going to fold this time with an exhale. Folding over that front knee, fingers will glide over the mat. Palms up toward the back. Inhale, rise back up. Good, again. Exhales floating down. Inhales coming up. You know where we're going, so if your breathing is a little different than mine, that's okay. Follow your breath. We'll rise back up. Let's take a cactus here with an exhale. Inhale, reaching, palms forward. And this time, if you want, you can add straightening the left leg as you bow forward. Fingertips graze the mat and then reach them back. And remember, you don't need to straighten the leg all the way. Inhale, so rise back up. Exhale, folding in. So what you notice here, a little wobbles. Maybe you can name some of the muscles. Maybe you just notice the sensations. Let's take one more. Rise back up. Cactus. Reach for the sky. And slowly lower the hands to frame that left leg. Step the left leg back. Hip circles now once again. Enjoy the release. Round and round one way. Maybe reverse directions. Find center, take the knees wide and let your toes come to touch. And then sink your hips towards your heels. They don't need to touch. We're coming into child's pose. The hands here can stack and this, so your forehead can rest on your hands. Or for some of us, reaching the forehead to the mat feels better. So options. Finding that child's pose that serves you. Notice your breath. See if you can guide it to be a little softer, a little smoother, and a little bit longer than the natural rhythm. And in this pose, see if you can connect to feeling that expansion in the low belly as you inhale. And squeezing out all the stale air with the exhale. Be reminded of your intention. What it is that brought you here today. Whether physical or something mental, emotional. That intention to fill your heart. As you're ready, we'll slowly rise back up, bring the knees back and under the hips. Now this time, take your dominant foot forward. Your hand on the back of the calf to support it. Tuck the back leg's toes under and bring your hands up to the front leg. Now, lean forward, and as you do, press into the back toes and bring yourself right on up to standing. And find the top of your mat now. And bring your hands to your heart. And here we want to bring the feet in under the hips. So for this, you might notice where the front of your hip is versus the outside. So we don't want them wide to the outside of the hip. We want them under the front of the hip. So that might be something where you can look down and kind of figure out, okay, that's the front of my hip. Or another option, you can give a little hop and your feet pretty much know where to go. Okay. Then lean to one side and then the other. Forward and back into the heels. Just kind of going round and round, noticing all the different points of the feet. And see if you can find about center so that you don't have your weight dumping forward or just into the heels or into one side or the other. Good. Now, from here, begin to send the sits bones back as you bend the knees, coming in either to a high stool or a chair, kind of like a squat. The heart stays lifted so we're not folding over. The gaze is forward. You might find something to focus your gaze on, something that's not moving in front of you. Your hands can stay at your heart, or if you want, reach the arms forward, palms facing in, thumbs up. Now, slowly bring the weight into the right foot, lifting the left heel up. Keep breathing. Then release that left heel down. And then shift to the other side, popping the right heel up this time. Good. Keep breathing. Lower that down. Shifting, opposite heel up. Down we go. Once more, other side. Good. Now from here, palms face toward the floor and fold over your legs. Keep the bend in the knees, palms are going to press back. And then inhale, come back into that chair. Exhale, palms back, folding over, keeping the knees bent. Inhales, up we go. You've got this. One more. Down we go. Inhales back. Hold here, hold here, hold here. Now pretend there's a sheet of paper underneath of your feet and you're trying to rip it. So what happens? Engaging all these muscles. Feel the contractions there. Breathe. Keep ripping that piece of paper. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then rise up. Enjoy the release. Let the hands float down by the hips. Sweep the arms all the way toward the sky. Maybe look up. Bend the knees. Exhale. Lead with your heart. Swing the arms out to the sides and fold all the way down towards your toes. Your hands don't need to touch the floor. Let the top of your head reach towards the earth. If being that much upside down doesn't feel good, bring your arms onto your thighs here. And breathe. It's a strong version of a forward fold. And bring the hands onto the fronts of the legs and rise up about halfway. Your arms can straighten here. Your legs might, they don't have to. Take your gaze forward. Halfway lifting. Exhale, fold back into your forward fold. Either the arms are on the legs or you're dangling the top of the hip down. Then bend the knees a lot. Sweep the arms open. Look up and rise all the way back up. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We'll do that again, a half sun salutation. Sweep the arms open to the sides, gazing up. Exhale, palms foot, dive down. Lead with your heart, bending the knees all the way down to your forward fold. Either arms on the thighs or letting the top of the head reach toward the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep arms open, looking up, all the way to the top, and exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Sink back into that chair. The arms can come forward or stay at the heart. Good. Now take that right hand and keeping the feet about where they are, slowly reach that right arm up and back, opening as if you're going to turn toward the side while keeping the knees forward. And then come back to center. Exhale, left arm reaches. Inhale, back to center. Once more to the right. And then once more to the left. Inhale, back to center, weight here. Lift the right heel. You've got this. Lower right heel. Lift the left heel. Lower it. Both heels. Little wobbly. Lower them down and rise up. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold on down, lean with the heart. Inhale, halfway. And this time, bend the knees enough to plant the hands and come back into your tabletop. Take the knees wide, let the toes kiss, and find a child's pose once again, your version of it. Stacking the hands, letting your forehead rest on the hands or forehead to the mat. Breathe here. We'll rise back up to tabletop. We're going to do our sequence from before, our kneeling sequence, and we'll add on to it. So reach your right foot toward the back of the mat, reach through the heel and then on the toes. A couple of times. How are the muscles feeling? How's the breath? And keep in mind, do what serves you. So if that means taking a couple more breaths in child's pose, go for it. It's your practice. Rocking forward, stepping forward with that right foot between the hands, and rising on up. You can use the thigh, and then reach, or come right on up into it. Exhales, cactus arms. Inhales, reach. Exhales, cactus arms. Remember that slight little tuck of the pelvis, that Jackie Chan, strong. Cactus, one more time. Reaching up, twisting this time, whichever way you're drawn first, maybe left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale to center, reverse your twist, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale to center, cactus arms, exhale. Inhale up, our press backs, no knee first, sweeping. Inhales, rising up. Adding the leg now, you can straighten that right leg, hands press back. Inhales, rising. 2 more of those. One more. Rising up. Cactus. Inhale, reach. Pausing here now, tuck your left toes under and start to straighten that left leg. Full crescent warrior. Be reminded you can do this entire sequence from that kneeling position. So we're lifting and then we're lowering right back down. We're breathing wherever we are, lifting, lowering down. One more, lifting, lowering down. This time lifting and holding. Breathe. Reach through that left heel. And then start to turn the palms forward. Bend the left knee and start to straighten the right leg. Slowly, slowly. Be reminded, you can always drop to the knee and do the same press back that we did before. So this is just an option to switch the legs. Bend the left knee, straighten the right, press the palms back. Inhale, coming back to center. Pressing. Back to center. One more. Lower the left knee. Lower the arms, framing that right foot. Step the right to meet the left. And take some hip circles here. Reconnect to the breath. Softer, smoother, a little bit longer. Reverse your circles if you haven't already. ready for the left side. Here we go. Find center. Step the left foot back, reaching through the heel and then on the toes. And when you're ready, a step forward with that left. You can use your left hand to assist. Rising on up, using the thigh to assist, reaching the arms. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. One more. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist right forward, left back this time. If you went the other way, that's okay. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left forward, right back. Inhale, back to center. Take a cactus with an exhale. Inhale, reaching, palms forward, folding. Rising up. Option to add the left leg straightening as you fold. Rising up. Continuing, option, tuck right toe, straighten right leg. Add the straighten of the front leg, folding. Two more wherever you are. Keep breathing. Find your lunge. If you're lifted, lower that knee. Hands are going to come down to the mat. Frame that left foot. Step the left to meet the right. Circle the hips. Well done. Wherever you are. Reconnect to the breath. And slowly guide it. Softer. Smoother. And a little bit longer. Let's find one more child's pose. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. We'll do some gentle stretches before our final resting. Breathe here. Softer, smoother, a little bit longer. When you're ready, rising up. We'll be making our way onto our backs. You can have a blanket behind your head if you like. It's not necessary. But as you're ready, make your way onto your back. Knees bend, feet plant on the mat. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat. The toes might even spill off the edges. And bring your hands back to the low belly. Your knees can tip inward toward one another. And feel your breath here. Let it rise. And let it sink, compressing out all that stale air. Expanding and releasing. A little bit softer, a little bit smoother, maybe a little bit longer than the natural rhythm. Separating the knees now, open the arms to a T. On your next exhale, let both knees float toward the right. When you inhale, bring the knees to center. Exhale over to the left. Back to center with your inhale. Tipping to one side or the other with your exhale. coming back to center. And heel toe the feet to about hip distance apart so your heels are in line with the bottom of your pelvis. Your arms can float down by your sides, or your hands could rest on your ribs or low stomach. On your next exhale, press your low back against the mat. And then when you inhale, arch the low back up, lifting the ribs, but keep your glutes planted on the mat. So we're just tipping. Exhale, glue the low back down. Inhale, let's find a little lift of the ribs, expanding them up and out. Your breath now guides the movement. Couple more times. Eventually, find that neutral position of your spine. Maybe swing your hips side to side, the knees sway. And then hug one knee in, followed by the other. You can hold on to the backs of the legs, the fronts, or just let the muscles do the work here. It might feel good just to hold here or maybe cross the ankles. You could let the knees float away from one another. You could add some rocking or circling. Think of this as a little gentle back massage. Allowing the natural rhythm of your breath. Softer, smoother, and a little bit longer. One breath at a time. And then slowly find center, land the feet on the mat, and cross the right ankle over the left thigh, letting the right knee tip open to the right. Your right hand can come into contact with that right leg and gently support it. You can add rocking here too if you want, side to side. Or if you're still looking for some more sensation from this, feel free to lift your left foot up off the floor, bringing both legs a bit more toward your chest. Sometimes it feels good to hold on to the back of that left leg if you do so. So wherever you find your stretch in this moment, what feels good. Be curious about the movement. Spend some time here now. We'll make our way back to feet on the mat. We press into yours, lift your hips up and right back down. Switching sides, left ankle over the right thigh. The left knee tips open to the left. The left hand can come into contact with that leg and support it. You can add the rocking here as well. Or the right foot lifting up off the floor this time. The right hand can support that leg if you want. Spend some time here and see what serves your left side. It might be different than the right. Keep breathing. A softer, smoother breath. A little bit longer than the natural rhythm. Another breath or two here. Eventually meeting with both feet on the mat. Lift and lower the hips. And then it's time to make your way into a comfortable resting position. Our final resting. One of the most important parts of your practice is that time to allow all the movement movement to integrate and to give yourself permission to just be still. So if you have another layer or some socks you want to put on, if you have a blanket you want to get cozy with, bringing that in and finding a comfortable way to be laying down. So your head can rest on a blanket or a pillow. You can keep your knees bent or send the legs long. If you have a pillow, it can sometimes feel really good behind the knees. That gives a little extra low back support. If you wear glasses, feel free to set them aside for now. You can keep your eyes open or closed. And spending the next several minutes being and breathing, receiving the support, the space, the live music. And that's enough for now. Be and breathe. Rest and receive. Drift and dream. very gently begin to bring yourself back to this space from wherever you may have journeyed. Notice your breath first, and then become aware of all the points where you are connected to the earth, from where the back of your head rests all the way down to your heels. And then softly begin to invite in some subtle movements. Maybe it's a wiggle of the fingers or toes first. Or maybe you prefer to stretch as if you were just waking up in the morning. And choose whether to bend the knees and plant the feet on the mat. And if you prefer, maybe curling up on your side, whatever side you're drawn toward. And take several last breaths wherever you're resting. And then gently bring yourself back up to seated. We'll meet there. Thank you all so much for joining Joel and myself today. Thank you for the beautiful music. Bring our hands to our hearts to close our practice. Take a moment to notice how you're feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally. And be reminded of the intention you set for yourself at the beginning. May we know peace, wisdom, and serenity. May these fill our hearts. And may we all continue to connect here. And know that even when we're not virtually connected or in person connected, we are all still connected. Now, one last time, be with your intention and see it fill your heart. Maybe it's a color or just a feeling. And then imagine that extending outward to fill the space you're in, the city or town, reaching beyond borders, across rivers and valleys, mountains, lakes and oceans, across countries and continents, and then even further, imagine it reaching the farthest star that you can think of. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. So, we will be back live again tomorrow morning at 9. Morning mindful movement, too many M's in that one. Morning mindful movement practice. So a very gentle wake up practice for you in the morning. Again with Joel and the live music. Looking forward to seeing you here. know that the videos are available on YouTube or on our Facebook business page, Karmic Roots Yoga. Please, please, please feel free to share them with others that you know could benefit. If you have financial means and want to support us that way, the info is in the section either below the video or on the side of the video, depending on your device. But a share is so valuable to us, and we so appreciate that support too. Thank you all so much. Have beautiful evenings. And if you need anything at all, feel free to reach out. You're so welcome, and Audrey and Karen. I'm just seeing some of these comments. You're so welcome. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening.